Starting your harp journey is such an exciting time. And it's normal to feel a little bit unsure about where to begin. But don't you worry, in this video, I'm going to share a simple action plan to help give you some direction and help make your first month of learning fun, rewarding, and stress-free. It's first important to make sure that you are setting a positive mindset for yourself. I understand in the beginning it might feel a little bit overwhelming at first, but I want you to just release the pressure to do it all perfectly or to feel like you have to master it all at once. Enjoy the process and just embrace being a beginner. Try to take it one step at a time, be really patient with yourself as you are learning, and just approach it all as a fun challenge. Next, it's important to create a comfortable practice environment for yourself. So designate a specific area in your home to practice your harp that is free of distractions like clutter, maybe extra noise, even electronic devices. It's also important to make sure that you're in a space that has really good lighting, and it is worth investing in a proper stool that's going to give you good support as you're playing that will help reduce discomfort and actually help you play for longer periods of time. Some people find that keeping their harp uncovered and in their line of vision throughout the day actually inspires them to practice more often. So if your space allows, I would give it a try. Try keeping your harp uncovered, out of its case, in an inviting position that might encourage some spontaneous practice. But if you have a room that you can keep your harp in, that's also a great option, and that will really help eliminate distractions. The next thing I want you to do is to have fun exploring the sounds of your harp. I want you to release the pressure to start perfectly and just have fun exploring the range of sounds that your harp can produce before you start learning basic technique. So experiment with it. Try playing it really loudly. Maybe try playing really softly. Try playing in like different parts of the string. So I could try playing way up here, maybe way down low on the string. You can do what's called a glissando. Again, don't worry about technique yet. Just have fun exploring the sounds that your harp can produce. Okay, so when you're ready to learn your first song, I want you to keep it simple. So choose a simple, familiar piece that you enjoy the sound of, created by a harp teacher, meant to help you develop good hand position and good fingering. And doing that early on is going to be really important to make sure you're developing good habits. So starting with simple songs will kind of give you the capacity to really focus on your hand position and get familiar with the overall geography of your harp without feeling overwhelmed with too many notes in a piece. I would start with the song where both hands are playing, but they're playing separately, like this. That way you have the brain space to focus on playing with good hand position with one hand at a time. So starting with simple pieces is going to give you some quick wins, and that's going to help propel you forward versus starting with some pieces that are too challenging. That's just going to leave you feeling discouraged and unmotivated to practice. In your first month of learning, it is important for you to focus on developing basic technique. So making sure that you are sitting properly behind your harp, that you're positioning your fingers properly on the strings. It's worth working on that now, right from the start. That way you don't have to go back and fix things, which is just going to slow you down. I recommend following along with a structured step-by-step course. That way you can make sure you're covering all the essentials and it makes your practice more organized. All right, the next thing is to get feedback from a teacher early on. When you're first starting out, you're likely going to have a lot of questions like, am I sitting at the right height behind my harp? Am I holding the harp correctly? Am I positioning my fingers correctly on the strings? All of that's really important to get right from the beginning, so it's worth having someone take a look and giving you some pointers. So an expert can give you feedback on those things to make sure you're on the right track and also help you know what to work on to help you see the most progress in your playing. All right, now let's talk about establishing a routine for yourself. So make sure you set a realistic practice schedule for yourself to build consistency. So that could be like anywhere from just 10 to 20 minutes of practice per day. It doesn't have to be hours on end, something that's realistic for your life and schedule. So try to choose a time of day that works best for you. Maybe that's early in the morning before work. Maybe that's right before bed to help you calm down, but just try to stick to it as best you can. And then once you continue to stay consistent with that, it's going to become a habit that will eventually feel like second nature. You can experiment and see what works best for you. And I think it's also helpful to realize that your practice schedule is going to look a little bit different in different seasons of life, but the most important thing is just finding a rhythm that works for you in a particular season. Something to not overlook in this first month of learning is making sure that you celebrate your wins, no matter how big or small. I think it's really easy to get focused on the progress that you want to make and the goals you want to reach, but it's also important to celebrate your small wins. Maybe that means like playing through a song for the first time, or playing your first glissando, or even tuning your harp. Like those are big accomplishments that might seem small in the moment, but they ultimately lead to more growth and momentum, and they are worth celebrating. So make sure to leave time for that. The next thing is to make sure that you get plugged into a harp community. It is so much more fun to learn when you are learning alongside others who are on the same journey as you, so be sure to get plugged into some sort of harp community where you can share experiences, ask questions, and get encouraged and inspired. So whether you're celebrating your wins or maybe coming across some challenges, you'll have people in your corner who can cheer you on and give you some tips and help you keep moving forward. I think it's way more motivating to practice and keep on growing when you can connect with others on the same journey. So there are tons of online forums, Facebook groups, online communities that you can get plugged into if you don't have an in-person option for a harp community. So when you're in the early stages of learning your harp, all those things I just talked through are really important for your long-term success. And that is why we have designed a program called Harp Beginnings. In this program, you get step-by-step support with really clear guidance, helping you go from absolute beginner to playing beautiful harp music in just 6 weeks. It includes clear, easy to follow lessons, personal feedback from a teacher, and support from a community that'll help you gain the confidence and skills you need to progress at your own pace. For more details, you can check out the description below.